I thought I would share some of my favourite childhood books that I've kept from when I was really young. I've got rid of a lot of stuff over the years, but these are the selection that I've decided to keep because of how special and how significant they were in my life. And who knows, maybe someone out there had the same book when they were a child growing up in the 90s or maybe even earlier. Starting off with this one. This was published in the 80s, I believe. 1984 apparently this was published, so slightly before my time, but somehow this novel ended up in my possession. I think it was gifted by an aunt or something. And yeah, I was truly captivated by the illustrations. This is sort of like I guess a collage of different stories, split up into sections. Myths and legends, dragons, unicorns, fairies, all sorts of mythical creatures really. I found the illustrations so magical and so evocative. I'll try and show you a few of my favourites. They're really cool illustrations. I remember copying so many of these. I even had a themed birthday party one year where everyone had to dress up as like a forest nymph. This is my favourite painting out of all, Hylas and the Nymphs. I just thought it was the most magical painting I'd ever seen, which got me obsessed with the Pre-Raphaelites because there's quite a few Pre-Raphaelite artworks in here. I know I won't show all of the illustrations, but there's just no shortage of amazing references for creating artwork of your own. I was very into fairies and that type of thing as a kid. Obviously you've got Arthur Rackham. I actually have another book with his illustrations that I'll show you. Oh yeah, Ivan Builden, I think. Always loved that one. Some creepy pictures as well that freaked me out when I was younger, but yeah, anyway, that's the first book that I've kept for many years. Pretty sure you can still buy this book. I have seen it online, I did look it up once. Further to that, I've got Arthur Rackham, another Goose, Nursery Rhymes. Also quite an old novel. 1975 apparently. Most of them are just black and white, but there are a few coloured spreads scattered throughout. I found them creepy, but at the same time stunning, mesmerising. Just something about, I don't know, like Arthur Rackham, Edmund Dulac. Maybe it's because they're old and the colours have faded slightly, but I find the art is just so dreamlike. It's like something you would see in a dream if you could transfer that to a visual format. But yeah, that was my mom's before it was mine, so that's been in the family a long time. Next up we've got Quinkin Mountain, another novel that I found in 1995, so yeah, I was born. Yeah, another novel where the illustrations are very dreamlike and saturated and creepy. I found this book definitely creepy because it deals with Australian Aboriginal spirits and demons, and there's these two siblings that go out into the wilderness, and then there's a big fire, and so they have to take refuge in a cave, and there's all these wicked spirits and the good spirits too who end up saving them. Spoiler alert. Yeah, the colours, I guess it's because I grew up in South Africa, so the sort of the heat, the red earth, the fire, the wildfire, it was all sort of relatable, and then there were these spirits, and the evil spirits and the good spirits. But I found it so creepy, but at the same time so mesmerizing, and I don't know. Yeah, that's all the spirits fighting. Is this one of those books that fuses itself into your memory when you're really young, and that's it, you will have that imprinted for the rest of your life in the aftermath. Amazing colours, little blue gum trees and stuff, and yeah, so beautifully illustrated, that one. Don't know if you can buy it, hopefully you still can. Definitely highly recommend. Another very trippy, dreamlike book, which has been one of my absolute favourites since I was super young, Lion's Cavalcade. 1980, apparently. This is one long poem, essentially, and every page has a different collection of, I don't know what you'd call it, like a float, I think. You've got different creatures and all of the accessories that they bring with them to, I think, impress the king or something. And oh man, the detail in this was just pretty mind-blowing to me as a child. And obviously when you're a child, everything is just yeah, it's so cool. I think children appreciate attention to detail. I always love this one. It's the food. Oh yeah, I love this one. I will read a couple of these in a minute. This was my favourite. Like the moonflowers, dog roses, horse chestnut, tiger lily. What else? Gooseberries, sunflower, snapdragon, I guess. Crabapple, yeah. And this one too. All night, nocturnal, moths and moonlight. Then fell a darkness as of a diamond mine, deep underground, where gems of a blinding brilliance lie, yet to be found, and into the mineral silence, menacing, there came the sound of something new-born and of terrible power, engendered by fire in the cellars of chaos, by flame-fingered demons, white-hot as desire, tending to the flambeau and the smouldering braziers of Vulcan's empire. The fizz of its insistent whispering hissed in the jungle night, as a fuse of saltpeter lit the earth's centre, raced up to ignite the pyrotechnic tiger from Royal Bengal, who burned as bright as a billion diamonds brought into the sunshine, a tapestry of filaments, incandescent with firebirds, and the poetry of salamanders, dragons, and phoenixes ablaze in perfect symmetry. I mean, if that isn't a good poem, I don't know what is. On the subject of beautiful illustrations, Tyger Voyage, 1976. So this one was actually my mum's. 1976, yeah. This is about a couple of tigers that basically just go on this big adventure in a boat. And very much like the other books I've just mentioned, it's very dreamlike, very mystical, very creepy in places. There's this volcano, and I've always had like this weird fascination with lava and glowing things that glow and hot fire and embers, and I feel like some of it comes from these novels. I think what you absorb when you're a child gets imprinted on your psyche, and it's there forever. This one is, they encounter storms and yeah, the volcano and other stuff along the way. They end up in a jungle. Ezekiel climbed the rocks in hope, while Raphael brought brought the telescope. Beyond dense forests they descry a mountain smoking to the sky. All the animals are fleeing. They climb the mountain. And they get swallowed up by smoke. Cheering above that frightful drop, they stood upon the mountain top, all in a strange and breathless gloom of mist and snow and sulphur fume. Oh, this picture, my god. Yeah, the younger one gets sick from the smoke. As they rode through uplands steep, an old wise woman watched his sleep. Strange herbal remedies she blended, and slowly Raphael's health amended. My father's read this tale I've told, of noble deeds and travels bold. He says that while he must admit the pair showed admirable grit, he thinks that I should emphasize their trip was really most unwise. And then my mom actually gave me a newspaper cutting she kept about the illustrator. It's funny. Yeah, another really beautiful book. Got another poetry novel. Edward Lear's Gromboolian poems. This one also still matching with the theme of eerie, dreamlike scenarios. And yeah, this novel just shaped my brain, I think, as a really young child. 1983, this one. It's just so dreamlike and so weird, you know, you think, what? So you've got numbers on each plant, and then you've got a little guide to tell you what it is. So number 1 is Washtubia circularis. Number 2, Plumbunia nutriosa, Cockatuca superba, Tigalilia terribilis, and Small Toothcomia domestica. And then you've got a long poem down the side. You've got guitar trees, blue baboons. I don't know, I always found this picture, it's sort of like a dusky scene with the clocks. So dreamlike. And the bat and the nightjar. When awful darkness and silence reign over the great Gromboolian plain, through the long, long wintry nights, when the angry breakers roar as they beat on the rocky shore, when storm clouds brood on the towering heights of the hills of the Chankly Bore, then through the vast and gloomy dark there moves what seems a fiery spark, a lonely spark, with silvery rays piercing the coal-black night, a meteor strange and bright, hither and thither the vision strays, a single lurid light. This is going to be such a long video. Oh, this one was always so trippy, like what? Blue baboon. Oh, and this one, I love this picture so much. Yeah. Hopefully you can still buy it. Highly recommend. Very dreamlike, very strange. Speaking of strange animals, I actually have a photo of me getting this as a Christmas gift, so I'll try and insert that just for fun. Yeah, Christmas 1998. Always made me want to live on a tropical island. Colours, it's just the attention to detail once again. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but this book was so dreamlike. This was my dream house as a child, like this house right here. And then, oh, he gives them the ring in his nose so they can get married. Get married by a turkey. Was it a peacock? I don't know. Looks like a turkey. Yeah. Always love that one. Just along the line of fairy stories, I have my mom's own childhood book, children's gift book. This one's pretty old. I think this is probably 1946. Someone's written. It's been partially coloured in by, I think, my mom. Yeah, this one I also found sort of eerie in places. I mean, something about the illustrations of this sort of era. There was no softening of sort of, I don't know, anything. It was all just, here's a creepy elf. I don't care if you get nightmares for the next 10 years. There's no chill back in the 40s. And all these goblins and pixies, and I remember reading a few of these stories when I was young. Mumphy the Elephant. Yeah, I do remember some of these. But yeah, this one's full of interesting stories. It's like embossed. Really beautiful book. Next up we have a couple of comics. I read probably most of these, and I even watched the films that they made at the time. I don't know, I just really enjoyed the political intrigue and the spying and looking for clues and the corruption. I don't know, it was like, it's a kind of adult story, but it's told in such a genius way that you keep kids entertained. Asterix as well, I loved these so much. Yeah, these were just amazing. Yeah, also watched the films of these. I loved the Egyptian one. I was obsessed with ancient Egypt, so yeah. And also World of Flower Fairies. I love these illustrations. They're just so classic. I think a lot of people know about these. You see them everywhere to this day. But yeah, I used to copy these out a lot. Colours and everything, just stunning. And last but not least, another poetry novel. This is Rhymes for All Seasons. It's all just seasonal poetry, so nature related, and there are a few standouts that I still remember to this day, which I'll try and find. I think it starts in the winter and it works through the spring. Oh yeah, New Road. It's one of my favourites. They have dug up half of Tinker's Hollow. Next week other gangs will follow. We've heard that everything is planned to drive a road through this good land, where herds of cows have grazed for years, Jerseys and Herefords, heifers and steers. The flowers I love will have to go, and every landmark that I know, the secret summer places where I walked alone in the scented air, the little lines of hawthorn trees, with hidden nests and swarms of bees. Who wants a dangerous motorway, for all the motorists have to say, with all the lorries rumbling by, beneath a different country sky. And this one, my mum used to read this to me all the time, I love this poem. The Distance. Over the sounding sea, off the wandering sea, I smelt the smell of the distance, and longed for another existence. Smell of pineapple, maize and myrrh, parrot feather and monkey fur, brown spice, blue ice, fields of tobacco and tea and rice, and soundless snows and snowy cotton, otto of rose, incense in an ivory palace, jungle rivers rich and rotten, slumbering valleys, smouldering mountains, rank morasses and frozen fountains, black molasses and purple wine, coral and pearl and tar and brine. The smell of panther and polar bear, and leopard lair and mermaid hair, came from the four-cornered distance, and I longed for another existence. Yeah, it's just a ton of different poems and illustrations. I realise it now, it's all English countryside. I didn't obviously know back in the day. Really beautiful poetry book. Another gem from the 90s. You know, I had so many books that I loved and I read, but I just wanted to share a selection of just these gems that you don't hear about much anymore, and that I hope aren't out of print, and that I hope people can still buy. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.